And you're on tour right now with
Yes.
Alfred Adrian,
I'm
right?
on tour with Alfred Adrian. I've always thought I would never work with another comedian.
Oh yeah? Well, what made you choose him?
Alfred, okay. Well, before he opened for me once before, and it was great. But Alfred has been, it's quite meteoric, and especially during COVID, his videos online, I mean, his fan base is huge.
Can I tell you something about Alfred? So it was like lockdown, like stage 4. Then my girlfriend's like laughing at these videos. I'm like, she's not going anywhere. It's we're together. You can't go anywhere. And then I'm like, what is she laughing at? Things started opening up. They were like, hey, it was like level 2 now. Hey, what are you laughing at? No, it's this guy, Alfred Adrian. It's funny. He's from the Eastern Cape. Yeah. Then I started watching his stuff. I was like, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah, so people say, and what made me say yes, so he called me and said, listen, I want to do, I'd like to do a two-hander with you. I mean, the story that he tells now is that he had a few drinks and he called, and I said yes. He didn't expect me to say yes. And the reason I said yes is because I know he's got a following, so the theatre will be full, so financially we'll be fine.
And now you're going to Australia?
Yes, our two audiences coming together. I mean, we were at the Lyric Theatre in Joburg. It was like church. 1,100 people screaming the roof off. We are such a good combination. My niece keeps saying it's Whitney and Mariah.
So how do you perform? Who goes first, or do you like?
You have to come and see the show for that, but we do something.
Tickets are sold out. I tried to. Tickets are always sold out.
Yeah, we're opening more shows.
Fast.
We're going to New Zealand. We're going to Australia. We've got a show in Cape Town. I mean, I don't know when this will go out, but we've also got a show at Westridge High. Yeah. Which is quite something. Alfred's performed there before.
Because I tried to go to Artscape and there were no tickets. Then I saw Westridge and I was like,
sold out. Josephstone sold out. So Westridge, there are still some tickets left. And in Cape Town, who knows what will happen after that. We're thinking of going back to Joburg, opening an additional shows in the Eastern Cape. We're going to East London. But we'll come back to Cape Town again.
Please do.
And we're going to put everything on marklottering.com. Maybe I should say that. Marklottering.com.
I got to say something about your website.
Mark with a C. It's not updated.
I love your website.
Oh, thank you.
This is the coolest thing ever. You can go on the website and you can see your specials and you can pay to watch the specials. And I think it's from 40 Rand to like 70 Rand. That's how I watch the stuff.
Thank you.
I was like, this is perfect.
And like, thank you. I've got to update it though. I've been a bit busy.
But like, it's perfect that you can just go back and like.
And I used to do blogs on that thing, and I think I'm going to go back. I did some audio on just what I think about life.
The feet thing needs to go.
How do you feel about feet?
It's like
it's the first thing you see.
Yeah.
I've got a thing for feet. I feel that if your feet are problematic, you need to say that before you check into the hotel. I feel that after you've paid and you've already booked and it's non-refundable, and then for somebody to show you their feet, you're like, well, we're here already.
Yeah. I used to have a big thing about feet because of, I'm not sure if you saw the Eddie Murphy movie, Boomerang.
Of course I saw Boomerang.
He was like
I grew up with that.
With like feet and stuff. So when I grew up, I was like, oh, look at the girl's feet. Look at the girl's feet.
Same thing. So, I'm glad you like this site. So we'll post everything on marklottering.com, and it's an exciting time. And now we're going to Australia. Yesterday we spoke about London, Amsterdam, Switzerland, because we did a live the other night, and the South Africans living everywhere in the world are just so keen for you to come.
So in terms of like performing overseas, do you kind of like change your set? Like, okay, I can use this tone, can use this word, do you think about that, or is like these people came to see me?
This is a good question, because it ties in with something you asked me earlier about do I think when I write, how will this age in 5 years? And now when I write, I also am constantly thinking about the person listening to me who knows nothing about Cape Town and who does not speak Afrikaans. So that influences the way I compile a story as well. So when we're abroad, I think what I've learned, and I only had to learn this over the years, bear in mind I started with my international tours in early 2000s. So I was touring. Toronto, Australia, New Zealand, London. So when I toured internationally, when I was a baby in comedy, we went out there and we were just so happy to be able to do that. But what I do realize is you shut off a lot of the audience when your jokes become inside jokes, and you cannot go abroad and just assume that it's fine to speak a lot of Afrikaans. Sure, there are people who come into the audience who've missed South Africa, but there are some people who've been away for between 20 and 30 years, if not more. So you got to just throw in, maybe if you want to throw in an Afrikaans word here and there's some slang, and people love that, hearing the accent again. But I try to make my stories universal. So I believe everywhere in the world there is somebody who believes that because he or she was born in December, they are perfect. So you tell that story, for example. And that's the way I think now. And it's also been very healthy for me, because I think as South Africans, we grew up with being apologetic. We think there's us, and there's our kind of funny, and then there's the world. And people used to do that to me. They used to call me that funny coloured comedian. That funny coloured comedian who coloured people find funny. That's how people used to talk about me. And there's so many things you can interrogate about a statement like that, word by word. But people try to box you in. And the joy about comedy and the joy about life is once you realize that fundamentally we're all the same. We laugh about the same stuff. We cry about the same stuff. Then we would stop fighting and following the gospel of Twitter. I've moved past X. Following the gospel of Twitter, whereby Twitter tries, especially South African Twitter, to keep reminding us how we are all so different. We hate each other. We don't get on. I think this of you and I think that of you. If you get past that, and it takes, you got to be calm to get past it, because there's a lot to fight about. There's a lot.
We have way more in common.
We have way more in common. There's a lot to fight about, and you can fight in a constructive way instead of I want to kill you. There is the business of going, I want to talk to you. Let's talk to each other. Instead of I want to kill you.
Talking about that, do you think comedians have a responsibility, a sense of responsibility?
I think, I think anybody with a platform, whether you like it or not, because I always shy away from it and go, oh no, I'm just Mark. I just want to be funny. But if you've got a platform and there are people who are listening to you, then you've got some responsibility in a way of saying important things that you think people need to hear at critical times. You do have that responsibility, because sometimes your page will be the only page people go to.
And I gotta say, like yesterday, because it was like the day before voting, I saw a couple of comedians like coming out making videos. Robbie Collins, what he did, I think, was brave in terms of like saying, "Don't vote for this party," and then KG was like, "Hey, we know corruption, but genocide, we don't support that." So like, it's humorous, it's funny, but like, it makes you think, like, hey, and that's kind of like impactful, and it's influence too,
Yes, look, for me, my brand has pretty much been that of being, it's my personality as well, of wanting to bring people together. Because I do believe that's the problem in the world right now, is that we are encouraged to hate because we are different. And whether it comes to the color of your skin or what you believe in or your sexuality, I've lived through all of that, and I've been on the receiving end of prejudice in the harshest of ways. But I've also fortunately been privy to seeing what people can be when there's understanding and when people come together. And I find that is my lane. Not to divide, because I'm also in a position to preach the gospel of the possibility of existing together.
I love that. And you always say, I'm a vessel.
Just a vessel.
I'm just a vessel.
Just a vessel.
We got a little segment. It's called This is a List of My Favorite Things.
Yeah.
And it's just random questions. You can answer to the best of your ability. If you can't think of an answer, just say pass.
Okay.
Right? Favorite movie?
Any one of the Godfathers.
Interesting. Favorite series?
I'm not rushed, right?
No, you're not rushed.
No, I'm not rushed. Gosh, Little Britain.
Little Britain. Favorite song? Yeah.
Anything by Whitney Houston.
Oh, yeah?
Anything.
Big Whitney fan.
Yeah, huge.
Yep. Favorite guilty pleasure?
You know, I just call it a pleasure. I don't like to attach the word guilt.
What is it?
No, it's so random and so normal. It's not. There's no guilt to it. Like people eat a lot of chips while they watch TV, right?
Oh, chips. That's normal.
Late at night, all night.
Favorite person? I'm so wisely.
I can only say my husband because that's the right thing to say, and he's actually got all the banking apps, and I don't have the passwords. So my favorite person in the world is Anwar McKay.
Favorite excuse?
I was drying my hair.
Really? How long was it taking? And I don't know if you know about this thing. So it's like, who's your Mount Rushmore of comedy? Like, I actually got some backlash in terms of saying Mount Rushmore, because like you in South Africa, you should really use like local terms.
Yeah.
So who's the founding fathers of, who's your favorite comedians? Let me just say top 5 favorite comedians
I
of all time.
can't do top 5.
Yeah?
I'm just going to say Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor?
And I'm going to stop there.
Yeah, so he's the most influential in terms of...
yeah, that is my, was and still is my comedy god.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Then I have to ask you, because it seems like a minimal list, right? Some comedians have a thing with like, in terms of when doing tours or when writing, they like, kind of like pull back and like, I'm not watching any other comedians. Do you do that?
I do that all the time. And unfortunately for me, I work a lot. Well, fortunately, it's a good thing to be working. But what that means is I miss a lot of shows. Because when you go and watch comedy, be it local or international, and you are writing, and the comedian that you go and watch is really, really good, it can destroy you for 2 days because you sit there and you don't even look at the stage.
Yeah.
You look at people screaming around you and you go, my show's not ready.
Yeah.
I'm never going to, oh my Lord, what am I doing? Maybe I should just say I've got long COVID, cancel the tour. This is like crazy. So it influences you in a bad way. That's for me. There are other people who thrive on it, but not me. I don't go and watch a lot of comedy when I'm creating. Sure, when I get off time, an off night, and I'm not working, then I might want to go and watch. But my biggest regret with that kind of thing is I miss out on the new comics.
But I gotta say one thing about you, what I like you always it seems like encouraging and like motivating the young ones, like incoming comedians. I see you with like a lot of comedians in terms of social media, which is really great.
No, because it's important for every country to have a journalist write what they want to write, to have speakers poets say what they want to say, and artists and playwrights, and then to have comedians say what they want to say. You mentioned earlier what you were watching on social media with KG, with Robbie, to be able to say that.
Yeah.
I don't think we realize how we need to protect that. We are living in Africa. There have been examples, even outside of Africa, where you suddenly, these people have disappeared.
Yeah, well, when I grew up, I think comedians were the tellers of truth without consequence. Like, everyone understood, he's a comedian. It's okay.
Yeah, and we've got to protect that right. And that's why when you see me encouraging young comedians, it's also just fighting for the continuation of the space that we have, and for it to be normal. May it always be the most normal thing to go to a microphone, to pick up a pen, to say what you're unhappy about, and to speak to people and to have engagement without the fear of a flashing blue light arriving outside your flat and we don't hear from you again.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be looking for you on the ballot paper. I'm so
I'm very shocked to see my
like,
picture is not on the ballot paper today. Like, traumatized.
After that, I feel like you should be running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Marc, thanks a lot for your time.
Sir,
really
thank you very
appreciate
much.
It. Really
Wonderful
appreciate
talking
it.
to you. Thank you for good conversation.
Really appreciate it. Any last words to fans out there?
Gosh, to fans out there, I mean, that already is such a beautiful word. So this means people who support comedy and people who support me. Yeah. Thank you for supporting every comedian. You know, it's because of you guys that we can sit in fancy restaurants like this.
Without food.
With great leave-in conditioner, wonderful skin cream. Because the Lord is using you, because you're a vessel, to come and support us. But seriously, thank you for the laughter and for coming out to support us, because you're keeping the industry alive. Much respect and much love. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Appreciate
You're amazing.
it,
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.